Please, sir. Please, I'm begging you. Don't let me go out there. Don't make me play the actual game. Please. No, don't look away from me. Don't look at me. Look at me. You. Anyone. No. Stop looking past me. Please get me out of this car. It is that time of the year. And unfortunately, it has come to the moment where we are playing F1 2014. But it's 10 years later. This game. Oh, brilliant. And of course, it's loaded up the splash page on the main menu with the ugliest car from the entire grid that year, arguably. The Walrus Lotus car that doesn't even have the symmetry going on at the front. So for those of you who weren't watching Formula 1 in 2014 or didn't have the pleasure of owning this game, let's have a look around. So obviously Mercedes, the big, story of that year and that game was the Mercedes, how strong they were. It was Lewis Hamilton versus Nico Rosberg. But this was, of course, before they became bitter rivals. Although, to be fair, Rosberg, his photo kind of already looks like he's ready for a scrap. Still Infinity Red Bull Racing from the previous year with Sebastian Vettel, but it was the debut for Smiley Merchant himself, Daniel Ricciardo. Look at him. He's not a tortured soul right now. 0 podiums, 0 wins, but all the joy in the world. And of course, Sebastian Vettel, his final year in Red Bull before he made the move to Ferrari. He has just come off the back of 4 world championships. Scuderia Ferrari, they still have Fernando Alonso, but it's Kimi Raikkonen coming back into the fray for Ferrari, and even his photo, you just know he is unbothered by everything. And I've said it many times, but Fernando Alonso, this guy doesn't age. He actually looks arguably better now than he does in this photo in 2014. Williams, they're actually this high up in the order of the teams because in 2014, simply by owning the Mercedes engine, Williams were unbelievable in 2014. They had that Martini livery, which wasn't here in the base game because they couldn't have it, for rulings and such. But they had Felipe Massa, and Bottas, of all people. Very odd. Actually, more think about it, very odd pairing, very odd lineup. Yeah, they were actually unreal in 2014. Obviously, Bottas, this is where he really shone, and these years in Williams really put him on the market for that eventual Mercedes move. But this was like the clean-cut Valtteri Bottas. This is like the SpongeBob meme where he's clean and cut, and he's not really got a personality yet, as we know it now. And Massa, well, Massa probably is still reeling from that championship that he thinks he should have. McLaren Mercedes. This would, start off being a very good year. Podium in the first race from Kevin Magnussen, making his debut in Formula 1. But then it just slumped. It slumped. But this would be the start. Well, actually, last season was the start of the downturn of McLaren. Unfortunately for me, as a Jenson Button fan, not great to see the last couple of years of his career in the downturn period of McLaren. Oh why, couldn't they have just been as good as they are now? Here. Force India with some familiar names. Nico Hülkenberg getting the Audi drive. Well, 10 years ago, he was driving for, what is effectively Aston Martin now. Was Racing Point, was Force India with Sergio Perez alongside him. Look at that, as teammates. That was a good lineup. And also, look how young they look. They look like so young. Only 3 podiums for Perez and 0 race wins at the time, 10 years ago for Perez. Scuderia Toro Rosso. Forget Visa, Cash App, a hobby, whatever. Jean-Eric Verne, blast in the past, and then Taika Fiat as well. Both drivers very much far away from not being in Formula 1 anymore. Lotus, well, we already seen the god-awful car, but they had Romain Grosjean and the F1 icon, Pastor Maldonado. 1 podium, 1 win, and unfortunately for them, this year would not be very great. So they're not going to add to this tally. Sauber, F1, Sutil, and Gutierrez. This was a chalk lineup. This is not a strong lineup at all. Sutil and Gutierrez. It's just such an NPC lineup. Caterham F1, I mean, Caterham have a better lineup than the freaking Sauber lineup. Kobayashi and Ericsson. Ericsson in IndyCar now, won the Indy 500. Kobayashi, just a fan favorite, so that's a real class lineup, actually, for little old Caterham compared to, like, Sauber. And finally, we come to Marussia, and it's a somber note. Jules Bianchi, of course, lost his life at the Japanese Grand Prix. I remember that so vividly still. Like, it was yesterday. It was such a shocking thing. It was my first ever, you know, exposure to actually, you know, seeing how dangerous Formula 1 can be firsthand, like, you know, watching it on my TV screen. Yeah, such a talent we lost. It was this year, wasn't it? Earlier in the year at Monaco, where he got a point, and it was so unbelievable. It was so unbelievable. Yeah, Marussia, they tried their hardest, and it almost, in a way, they were getting somewhere with that point at Monaco, and it just wasn't, you know, their story wasn't meant to be continued with Bianchi, at the Japanese Grand Prix, and he was alongside Max Chilton. Time to step into the career mode, though, now, of F1 2014. Let's go with the Hoover, the Ferrari Hoover. That's what it is. But this game, 10 years ago, ahead of its time in one way, it had customized season lengths. 7 races, 12 or 19. This is, you know, this genuinely is ahead of its time, because after this, there was a period where you couldn't customize the season lengths anymore, and they only recently brought it back into the F1 game. So I'll give it to F1 2014 on this one. This was good, because if you didn't want to play a full season, you didn't have to. Nice little short 7-race season, solid. This was the classic, the nice little logo pan intro. And we come to the main hub. It's rather ugly. There's really not much going on. You know, you can see just us and our teammate Fernando Alonso up at the top, by the way. That's the only indication of when upgrades are coming, those gears. And that was it. That, in terms of R&D, there was no R&D. There was no R&D. Literally just the game gave you an upgrade. Gave you it. I don't even know to this day if it really made much of a difference. I mean, your cars did get a bit quicker, but yeah, it was basically it was a bit kind of smoke and mirrors. And there was literally no R&D menu, you know? There was no real contract system, apart from right at the end of this season, you could choose a team maybe, or get given one, but there was no inkling of how you're doing in the world of Formula 1, acclaim, or anything like that. Reputation, you know, you can see your comparison versus your teammate, I guess. That's about it. There's emails, and that's pretty much the same as it is right now, I guess. You know, just some pretty useless information to read through, basically. And yeah, you can see contract offers is blacked out there on the left. That's only open right at the end of the season. So for the entire game, most of the time, that contract offer thing is just blanked out. Then yeah, you've got main hub, you've got news, and to be fair, the news has one of the most exciting bits of these older career mode games, because it's got the wonderful "Can anyone match Vettel?" This is only funny to me and those of you who have been watching me for a while and know the inside joke of the fact that I just love the fact that they just copy and pasted this news article for the last, well, 4 years, basically, 4 games. And it was so consistent there. Yeah, brilliant. Obviously, in this year, absolutely, people can match Vettel. In fact, the Mercedes will be trouncing Vettel. And that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. That is all career mode is. You just dive into it. This is it. This is all the gameplay you get in terms of the hub. Like, you get some emails, which you're never going to read. So that's not even a thing. So, and news, you're not going to read, really, because it doesn't matter. So it doesn't, like, play into acclaim, doesn't play into anything. It's just random news articles to try and give the essence of a world of Formula 1. But because it doesn't mean anything, you end up not really reading them after, like, you know, a couple of races, basically. Standings, you're going to see that at the end of the race. So, well and truly, this is the one and only page of the career mode you care about, and the only thing you're seeing is the comparison to your teammate, and maybe when you're getting an upgrade, but you don't get to see what it is, or spend money on it, or anything like that. So really, that's it, and then you just dive into a race. So you basically just play Grand Prix mode, and it the career mode aspect is it adds up your points into a standings. And compared to F1 2013, the previous game, F1 2014 cut out a massive part of the game. All the classic cars gone. No classic cars. No classic tracks. Oh, I don't know, actually. Are there classic tracks still in this game, or is that a mod? Yeah, yeah. They removed all... There were mods to bring back the classic tracks into F1 2014, but if you, like, played it on console, yeah, from F1 2013 to 14, you lost all the classic cars they had added and all the classic tracks they had added. I'll hop into a race, though, now in the Ferrari Hoover, and we're going to go to Hockenheim, because I know recently that is a big fan favourite that people want to return to the F1 games, because even I say it all the time, it's such a great track, and with the modern cars it'd be amazing, but unfortunately today, we have to play them with F1 2014 cars. Great. Please, sir, please don't make me go. Please, sir, please, I'm begging you. Don't let me go out there. Don't make me play the actual game. Please, no, don't look away from me. Don't look at me. Look at me. Yeah, okay, please. Oh, he doesn't care. We have to go. You, anyone? No, stop looking past me. Please, get me out of this car. Oh, here we go. Time to hoover up the competition as we go to... Oh, my, that engine. Oh, my, that is just the worst sound in the known universe. But it's a great start. Oh, dive down the inside of Felipe Massa. They're up to P3. Loving life. Oh, Vettel's on the attack a little bit. Is he going to move back? The AI were awful. The AI were god-awful. You lot who are complaining about modern F1 games, honestly, have a bit of perspective. The AI, they're actually so good compared to what we had. This was Goppet. Look at this. I'm in a Ferrari. Shouldn't be able to do this. Dive down the inside of Rosberg. He's not going to defend. Doesn't move to the inside. We cover him off. Even if he was pretty quick, he's not going to make a dive bomb because they never do. Oh, the handling's just so bad. It's like we've got a weight. It's like we've got a weight attached to the middle of the car, and we're like just stuck to the road with that anchor, and there's like there's no good feeling on the turning. Oh, go on. He's going to go for a move. Is he? No. Vettel might, though, and it won't matter. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's awful. That is all. I can't even look at other AI in the replay cameras. Oh, the replay. As a creator, I'm so glad they changed the replay system so you can actually look at other cars. Because this is... What is this? Can you imagine trying to make a video? Like, oh, it's 3 wide into turn 1 and... Oh... Great cat. I can really see a lot of what's going on there in that mirror. Yeah, it looks like from this angle. Look at that. That's awful. They were fighting. Then Rosberg breaks there and Williams crashes into him. This is why Survive episodes used to slap on this game, and it's not the same thing anymore on the current games because the AI was so dumb that it just created so much funny chaos. Where's the little turbo sound? There's a turbo sound they made such a big fuss about. There it is. There it was. That's what they made such a big fuss of it at the time, I remember. They're like, oh yeah, we've really delved into the audio, and it's next level. Oh, I really do miss Hockenheim. Even this version of Hockenheim, which is probably not very accurate at all. Just give me this one back. I don't care. Just import this into F1 24. I would love it. Thank God we only have 1 lap left, because this has been... Yeah, just... You can tell it's awful, because there's nothing interesting going on. Like, it's just so it's just so sanitizing. Like, it's such a sterile experience playing this game. This was the heads-up display. This is all we've got, you know. We've got fuel mixture we can put to rich. That's about it. No ERS management. No ERS. Remember, this was the first year where ERS was a thing. Before, it was KERS, so you can, you know, forgive them for not having a good system. But this was the first year in Formula 1. We had ERS systems and, like, batteries deploying, and we had nothing. They just, you know what they told us when the game came out? Oh, yeah, the ERS is being done automatically in the background for you the whole time. Trust us. No, they just didn't have anything like that in the game. So all you had was what we had last year, the fuel. You can change tyres like that. And you can change the brake bias front to rear. That was it. No actual tangible brake bias. And that car, by the way, that Williams is overtaking me simply because I wasn't looking at where he was, and I lifted off to change the menu. But also, this is a good example of how good the Williams was in 2014, at least. That Massa is up here, able to capitalize on that little lift off I did. I've actually I don't feel in a good mood anymore. That's actually brought my mood down.
A great third place. Congratulations.
I couldn't care less, engineer. I literally couldn't care less. I mean, at least the cutscenes look all right. You know, not too bad. It's probably the best looking part of the whole game. But as odd as I'm pretty sure they could just like pre-render them, because of course you've got to remember the entire context of in these older games there's no driver transfers. So in career mode you're the only driver that could change teams. So they could probably render them out, like, you know, for every possibility of winning second place, third place. So that's probably why they look better than the rest of the game. But now we're going to quickly move into a last little bit here. Another track that we can't play anymore in the F1 games, the Malaysian Grand Prix in heavy wet conditions in the Red Bull, one of two only good-looking cars in the game. And to be fair to this game, and I say this, I've said this before for F1 2013, 2011 as well, especially not 2012, 2011 as well. The rain actually looks really good for like the year, like 10 years ago. This is very good. Like, look how wet it looks. And I actually, you know, I think they need to go back to having this much, you know, droplets on the screen, this much, like, you know, spray coming off the cars. I think this game also had it where if you were behind a car, it slightly, like, fuzzied up your screen because of, like, the rain effect. It definitely did that in F1 2011 when we played that, you know, like 3 years ago. You know, it was really great to see. And, like, yeah, there you go. Look at that. They need to bring that back on the current F1 games. I love it. I actually think that's a great effect. That looks really good. Like, arguably, this game in wet conditions, like, look at it. It actually looks so much better than in the dry. Like, it's actually, it boggles the mind that they could get it looking this good in the wet, but in the dry it looks so dull and bleak, like there's no kind of, you know, lighting going on or anything interesting. But in the wet they've got they've got decent reflections, the water spray. Yeah, like it's not bad. Like this is actually a redeeming feature of F1 2014 was the wet weather. Like, visually was good. Obviously the driving's awful. Absolutely awful in the wet to drive. It always felt like torture. But the actual visual spectacle, unbelievable stuff. Oh, we're coming to the very difficult, this is such a difficult corner in Malaysia. That blind right-hander, one of the hardest corners in Formula 1 when it was in F1, that was. I want to make an overtake on Bottas. I want to get an overtake. We've just been going backwards in this race because I've been concentrating on just showing you the wet weather and talking about it. But I want this move. Oh, he's parked on the apex a bit. Can we go around the outside? No, not the... Oh, that's not a good turn. Oh, bloody hell, that's not a good turn, Arav. That Williams, man. Oh, look at it in a straight line. Oh, this Red Bull was awful in a straight line. No Mix 2 engineer. Mix 3 only. Oh, no, the engine's overheating. Oh, Slidey McGee, that was. But we gained time there, that was good. Big dive. Oh, what a send. Oh, massive send. Oh, Bottas comes back at us. Oh, he's actually switched back me. Fair play. He's actually, you know what, maybe even the AI are better in the wet. Oh, God. Oh, and look at that. Bit of spray coming off. We pull to the inside, get it back down, slow it down, and we've gained on the leaders. Okay. I said they were good. They're a bit awful because me and Bottas, we've caught the leaders up rapidly. But we set the fast lap of the Grand Prix. We are starting to cook on the final lap. Oh, good slide. Oh, get that nose turned in. Another purple. We are cooking. Can we get P7 for my lucky number 7, Kevin Magnussen, up the road? Or even here? Oh, big send. We got him. Lovely stuff. Lining up just behind Vettel's future Ferrari teammate, Kimi Raikkonen. Look how slow they go in the hairpin. Yeah, the AI lose a lot of time through this hairpin, don't they? But oh, P7, I'll take it. And actually some semblance of some good driving here on F1 2014, alas. But, yeah, you know what? The game's definitely better in the wet. The dry is awful. The wet's actually, yeah, that was, I'll admit it, that was somewhat enjoyable to make some dive bombs. But at the same time, it still feels so numb. There's like no feeling of weight. But, yeah, visually, it's actually quite good. So, folks, that is it. That was us playing F1 2014, but it's 10 years later. Guys, if you have enjoyed it, then be sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.